ready to do the pledge?
I requested these copies. I don't know if you have one.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay.
That way you know where they came from. Just
Okay.
for you, I'm gonna make just a few comments, but that's all.
Okay, thank
See
you.
where I'm coming from.
He's not in. He should be. We're just waiting on our board member to return to his seat really quickly in the interim, getting all our stuff together.
And I don't want everybody to think I'm looking all Hollywood
Oh, right.
or I'm doing Corey Hart's thing of wearing my sunglasses at night. But I had surgery on my eyes, so I have to have my glasses on tonight.
Yeah, see. Make sure he's okay. All right, there we go. Get me in the chair. We're now convening the session, the open session for the Rialto Unified School District Board meeting. Tonight, we have a full school board meeting. But first, please, let's have our student board member, Jawan Collier, lead us in the pledge.
Please stand and face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. Please be seated.
The meeting was convened at 7 p.m., 7:19 p.m.
I make a motion to adjourn closed session.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Now we will observe students from Preston Elementary School's transitional kindergarten led by Ms. Andrea Phelps and our PM kindergarten led by Mrs. Wendy Shoemaker, perform their class AVID song. These kinder students will highlight the significance of AVID strategies they use daily within their classroom. Thank you also to our teachers, administrators, and parents for being here tonight to support our talented young students. Go Panthers! Let's give the Preston Panthers one more big hand. Do we have a report out from closed session?
Yes, we do. The Board of Education took action to impose a 9-day unpaid suspension of certificated employee number 1659327. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education took action to impose a 7-day unpaid suspension of certificated employee number 1629117. The roll call vote was unanimous. And the Board of Education denied the request for a leave of absence for classified employee number 1636427, January 26, 2017 through February 3rd, 2017. The roll call vote was unanimous.
Thank you. Now we'll move for the adoption of the agenda.
So moved?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Do we have any? No polls? Okay, excellent. All in favor? Aye. Any abstentions? Any nays? Excellent. Unanimous. So we'll have our presentations now at this time from the middle school DSAC, District Student Advisory Committee. Our student board member, Jawan Collier.
Thank you, President Walker. First, we have Destiny Lopez from Rialto Middle School.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Avila, and our viewing audience. My name is Destiny Lopez, and I am the proud ASB President of Rialto Middle School. As the second half of the year has already begun, we already have on our belt so far a girls' basketball win. Our January dance with over 200 students attending last night. And today we did our PBIS refresher rollout as students and staff reminded students of our school's wide expectations. This Friday will be our honor roll assembly in our gym where awards will be given for great grades and perfect attendance. Yes, I will not be the only one to receive an award, a bumper sticker as a reminder of our cheer squad bringing the excitement. Those on honor roll will also be eligible for an incentive trip to Knott's Berry Farm on February 10th. Roller coasters, funnel cake, award, arcade games, and of course fried chicken. Yes, Miss Knott's Thanks, Miss Knotts, for that. You know what us Tigers say. Work hard, play hard. Speaking of celebrations, our Valentine's Day dance will be on February 12th. We named it the Single Pringle Mingle, as most of us middle schoolers don't really have Valentines, but we have friends in which we'd love to celebrate with. Feel free to stop by and be guaranteed what we will do. The Cupid Shuffle, it has the directions built right in. Unlike the dance that I did on Saturday for a very long quinceañera. Construction of our solar panels has begun with some giant holes drilled into our parking lot. I can't wait for the covers to be installed so we can get our parking lot back. Not like I have a car or anything. I just want things back to normal for my mommy. Both boys and girls basketball started today. Congratulations for 2 very exciting games. Looks like it is going to be a great season. Thank you for your time, and we will see you next month with more Tiger news.
Next, we have Gino Roden from Cole Middle School.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Avila, and viewing audience. Hello, I am Gina Roten, President of the Mighty Cougars, and I'm so excited to be here to tell you all about the great things happening at our magnificent school in 2017 and moving into next month. Our JRTC cadets have held all-you-can-eat breakfast on fundraiser at Applebee's on Fontana, and today at lunch we had held a pep rally to kick off the basketball season. Last week, we held our annual science team night and awarded our science fair winners with certificates and accolades before sending their projects onto the district level. This year, we also introduced the Cougar Arcade, where our Mesa students built arcade games for our families to play in. And those that attended the event voted for the best game. This week, we are collecting used t-shirts for our annual t-shirt drive. The shirts are donated to the African Diaper Project to make reusable diapers for the mothers in Africa. Last year, we collected almost 2,000 shirts. Tomorrow, we are separating our principal honor roll students with a painting party. Students who've earned a 3.5 or above, both quarter 1 and quarter 2, are receiving instructions how to paint Van Gogh's sunflowers. We continue to fundraise our grade level field trips. Please join us in support of our efforts at Mod Pizza in Fontana on Thursday, February 2nd. Brady and Courtney Cougar will also be there, enjoying individually made custom pizzas with our Cougar families. Please see the yellow flyers that has been passed around to everybody. And lastly, we would like to direct you to our social media pages. We are promoting our activities on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat as Cove Cougars. We are also using the district's Peach Jar email system to post flyers of our events with our Cove families. You can see all the most up-to-date information on these sites. And of course, our Cove Cougars would like to congratulate Miss Brandy Brunson, 7th grade English teacher and 25-year veteran, for our Black History Month award recipient. And remember, Cougars always loud and proud. Hashtag Cove Go for Gold.
Last, we have Stephanie Rodas from Casera Middle School.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Avila, and viewing audience. My name is Stephanie Rodas, and I am the ASB President of Casera Middle School. Before I begin, I would like to wish everyone a Happy New Year. I hope that you all had a great holiday season, and that this year brings great things for all of us. So far, my year is already off to a great start due to my recent trip to Guatemala, where I spent quality time with my family for the holidays. With 2017 just around arriving, Casera is starting off the new year with various events. First of all, this past Saturday, on January 21st, a brunch covering the Who Is Your Hero Girl Talk, a mentoring program led by Mrs. Diaz Saucedo from Casera Middle School, was held. Casera students performed in poetry and sang song to honor Dr. Deborah Lieberman, the first female president of the University of Laverne, and other distinguished women of the Inland Empire. Dr. Deborah Diaz, the new UCR medical dean, along with the new female dean of Laverne Law School, and other great distinguished women in our community assisted the program. Casera Middle School girls impressed the crowd of 60 to 70 people with their talent and represented the Rialto Unified School District well. Another great achievement from an 8th grade student from Casera, Alec Bryson, who won first place in the competition. The Mesa competition, sorry. On January 24th, 50 8th grade students will take the NAEP, or the National Assessment of Educational Progress. Across the nation, 8th graders are selected to assess math and English language arts. Then a national report provides the progress of 8th graders. We also have 3 different events lined up for January 27th, starting off with Breakfast of Champions for selected students that exhibit the excellent character trait orderliness, then moving on to our PBIS dance that is for students who received 2.0 or higher on report card grades, and finally wrapping up the day with the Avid Talent Show tryouts. We are looking forward to watching all of our school's talents. Our first event in February would be the Honor Roll Assembly from quarter 2 on the 7th. Since February is also African American Black History Month, we will be having morning announcements by leadership students highlighting contributions of the significant African Americans. Additionally, our Casera Coyotes would like to congratulate and award Officer Webb for Black History Month. Towards the end of February, 8th grade students will either attend the Carter High School orientation on the 21st or Eisenhower on the 22nd. Last but not least, today we had our first basketball game against Kolb, and I'm happy to announce that the boys team won. Thank you for your time and attention.
That's it, President Walker.
Oh, that's it for Dan? Okay, thank you, thank you. Next on our presentations will be a presentation by Vincente, where are the glasses? Lloyd and Stutzman LLP regarding the fiscal year 2015-2016 annual audited financial report.
President, Mr. Walker, we have auditors here. Priscilla Flores, she's the supervisor and manager of the audit team. And she's here to present the overview of the audit of last year financial audit.
Okay.
Here she is.
Good evening, all. Am I good? Okay. So you've had the report and you've been able to review it. And so I'm Priscilla Osborne Flores from Vicente Lloyd and Stutzman, your current auditor, external auditor. And Jeff Volpe is here with me. He was the in charge this year, as well as Tina Henton was the partner on the job this year. So instead of going in detail of the report, it took over 500 hours to do all the testing that we do and produce the report. And you have two reasons why you have an audit report every year. One is to opine on if your unaudited actuals that you would have approved in September of 2016 were accurate, if the numbers were represented fairly, and also for federal and state compliance that's required every year on the audit. And we also look at laws and regulations that are applicable to the school districts also. The opinion that you can have, the opinion that you have this year in the audit is an unmodified opinion. That's the best opinion that you can have. And you can find the opinion, the first page after the table of contents has an opinion paragraph. It does not say unmodified, however, but on page 79, the unmodified words are there. And even though it doesn't sound very exciting, it is the best opinion that you can have. And then over on page 2, you can see that your overall net position has improved from the year before, so that's always good. And on page 60, you can see that your required minimum reserve has been met, and so that's all good news. On page 62 is more good news. It's a very blank page, but it shows you have no audit adjustments, so no differences between your unaudited actuals and these numbers presented here, which means your business office did a great job. And there's one finding this year. It starts on page 80, and and I can go into more detail of that, but only if you have questions. And then there were no federal or state compliance findings, which is very good. And then the findings that were from last year, all 3 of them were implemented. So it's a good report. And I'd like to, congratulate your business office. Mr. Islam and Diane Romo and all your people are able to get us the information timely and work well with us. And I will entertain questions. Yes.
I'm concerned about the finding because it concerns ASB funds at one of our middle schools.
Yes.
And we seem to have a continual problem with this, although we provide a lot of training and whatever. And I know that the principals and employees who will handle ASB funds have all been trained, but we still have issues. And are there things we can do about it that maybe we haven't thought of?
Possibly. Training is always happening. It's always difficult because it's often the ASBs are handled by non-accountants.
Right.
And so training is always important, and just enforcing the rules and the procedures that are there. But it's a constant problem at many different districts. And it's also maybe small dollar amount, but very important because it's the students' money.
Right.
And that's why when we do find something, we find it important to put it in the report if it exists.
Okay. Thank you.
No other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So on to our next section of presentations. We'll have the parent engagement presentation on the Family Leadership Institute. And who's,
Yes, and for that we have Ms. Linda Miner,
okay.
who's our Director of Title I and Categorical Programs.
Good evening, Board President Walker, Board
evening.
members, Dr. Avila, and viewing audience. My name is Linda Miner. I'm here to share a bit with you about the Family Leadership Institute. It's coming up on the screen right now, also known as the FLI. And here is the I must have pressed the wrong button. Yes.
Pushing it when I'm pushing it.
No.
Okay, hold on.
I'm pointing it, but not pushing. Okay. To begin with, I'd like to let you know give you a little bit of background on what is FLI. It is a multifaceted educational curriculum consisting of the 10 modules to increase parent engagement and student achievement. It is a training that we have attended. It's in English and Spanish. It is a national training site is in Las Vegas, Nevada. When we do send people, we send people as facilitators. They receive a facilitator guidebook, notebook, 3-inch binder, facilitator assistant, parent participant guide they receive, and a practitioner who also receive a participant guide, and observers. Then we also, in addition to that, have a 2-year site license that we purchase for each of the schools that are going to participate in this program. And in the bottom bullet there, we have the facilitator guide notebook contents that we receive in that 3-ring binder notebook. Everything is translated. We have it in English and in Spanish so that it is helpful to the parents and the schools as they implement the program. Okay, Saida? No? Okay, the FLI purpose, it focuses on providing families with the knowledge, tools, inspiration to help their children succeed in school and life, helps families of diverse ethnic, racial, and cultural backgrounds. They grow as individuals, parents, and leaders. Through the 10 modules, they're provided with skills, abilities, attitude necessary to enhance their personal success to serve as better role models for their children. Parents are encouraged to become engaged in their child's education and in an effort to achieve academic success. This also ignites family leadership in the home. With these increased skills, it builds parent capacity and increases student achievement. It also addresses the school and the community needs to eliminate barriers and increase ability to work together. Schools are at various levels of implementation, schools that we have sent to the conference. They've also transitioned through changes in school administration. We've sent additional people when we have had the changes in administration. The schools that have gone, these 4 schools have joined together, Boyd, Casey, Garcia, and Rialto High. They've joined together, and when they're ready to work in a separate grouping, then they will make that transition. After the school cohorts progress through the 10 modules, the next cohort begins the process, and they work through the collaboration, conversation, building of leaders, and relationships as they share, they cry, they heal, and they learn together. The trainings are highly interactive and allow all to share their life experiences with others. It's a retreat experience that affects the participants at the heart level. These are the 10 modules. I wasn't going to read through every single thing. It deals with home, self-identity, living in 2 worlds culturally, storytelling and journaling, education, college field trips, improving family and school relationships, facing challenges at home, creating a family action plan, and celebrating family academic excellence. At this time, we have 2 parents who have so generously agreed to share their experiences that they've had at the conference and also at the school as the schools have implemented the program. So if I can welcome our parents here.
Buenas noches,
Good evening,
presidente de la mesa directiva, señora Walker,
President of the Board, Ms. Walker,
doctor Ávila,
Dr. Avila,
miembros de la mesa directiva,
members of the board,
apreciable audiencia.
and esteemed audience.
Mi nombre es Juan Silva, represento a Rialto High School.
My name is Juan Silva and I represent Rialto High School.
Esta noche estoy con ustedes para compartir mi experiencia que tengo y que ha tenido una gran influencia en mi persona en asistir a los talleres de FLI.
Tonight I'm here to share with you my experience, which has given me a great experience in having assisted to these workshops in the Institute of Family Leadership.
El Instituto de Liderazgo Familiar
This institute
me ha motivado para poner en práctica las cualidades y habilidades
has motivated me to practice those qualities and abilities
como líder.
as a leader.
Me ha hecho una persona más segura para involucrarme en el proceso educativo de mis hijos.
I have become a more self-assured person to be involved in the educational process of my children,
Poniendo en claro que el idioma no es un obstáculo para participar en él.
making it clear that language is not an obstacle to be a participant in this.
El liderazgo familiar comienza en el hogar
Family leadership begins at home,
y el corazón es nuestro guía.
and the heart is our guide.
Todos nuestros sueños para nuestros hijos,
All of the dreams that we hold for our children,
esos sueños los compartimos todos los padres.
those dreams are shared by all of the parents.
Y esos sueños son ver que nuestros hijos lleguen a la universidad y se conviertan en hombres y mujeres de éxito.
And those dreams are to see our children make it to a university and become successful people.
Los talleres de FLI me han sensibilizado
The workshops of FLI have made me sensitive,
conjuntamente con otros padres, despertando la necesidad de involucrarme en el proceso educativo de mis hijos.
along with other parents, awakening me that need to become involved in the educational process of my children.
Quiero mencionar
I should mention
que gracias a las experiencias personales que compartieron los directores,
that thanks to the personal experiences shared by the directors,
señor Ayala de Rialto High School
principals, Miss Ayala from Rialto High School,
y la señora Joana de la Escuela Primaria Casey,
and Miss Joanna from the elementary Casey,
ellos abrieron su corazón y nos enseñaron que cuando se desea lograr una meta,
they opened up their hearts and showed us that when we want to accomplish a goal,
esta sí se puede alcanzar.
such goal can be reached.
Ellos nos comprobaron que siendo un buen líder se puede lograr los sueños de nuestros hijos.
They proved to us that being a good leader can help achieve the dreams of our children.
En los talleres de FLI aprendimos que los padres debemos estar a la vanguardia de la tecnología.
In the FLI workshops, we, the parents, learn that we have to be in front of the tendencies,
Y que ésta la debemos conducir y aplicar de manera razonable.
and that we should apply such in a reasonable manner,
Y que nuestros hijos hagan uso correcto de ella.
and make sure that our children make the correct use of such.
Vivimos en una era de alta tecnología
We live in a world of high technology,
y como padres
and as parents,
tenemos que estar preparados para no quedar en la oscuridad.
we must be prepared so we're not left in the dark.
Doctor Ávila,
Dr. Avila,
miembros de la mesa directiva,
members of the board,
los exhorto a continuar apoyando estos talleres
I exhort you to continue supporting these workshops
para que se ofrezcan en todas las escuelas de nuestro distrito.
so that they can be offered in all of the schools in our district.
Seguro estoy
I am very sure
que cada dólar que se invierta
that every dollar invested
en FLI
in FLI
será una inversión que dará resultados a corto plazo.
will be an investment that will give us results in the short term.
Estos resultados serán satisfactorios
Said results will be satisfactorily
porque tendremos padres preparados
because we'll have prepared parents
y seguros para llevar a sus hijos a la universidad con éxito,
very sure to lead their children to a university with great success,
logrando así
achieving in this manner
que el distrito de Rialto sea el primero en tener padres convertidos en verdaderos líderes.
That the Rialto district become one of the first districts to have parents who have become leaders
Y estudiantes de alta calidad.
and students of high quality.
A los padres,
To the parents,
los invito a involucrarse en todas las actividades escolares de manera directa,
I invite you to become involved in a direct manner in all of the school activities,
para que desarrollen y apliquen esas cualidades y habilidades de líderes.
so that you develop and apply those qualities and abilities of a leader.
Y conjuntamente
And along with,
logren los sueños de sus hijos.
and along the way, you achieve the dreams of your children.
Buenas noches, mesa directiva,
Good
señor
evening,
Cuauhtémoc y audiencia.
and the audience.
Mi nombre es Elda Ivonne Pérez
My name is Elda Ivonne Perez,
y estoy representando a la escuela García Elementary School.
and I'm here to represent Garcia Elementary School.
Yo tuve la oportunidad de participar en los talleres que hubo en Las Vegas
I had the opportunity of participating in the workshops that were held in Las Vegas,
y para mí fue una experiencia muy bonita y muy motivadora.
and for me, it was a very nice and very motivating experience.
Aprendí que todos tenemos un líder dentro de todos nosotros
I learned that we all have a leader inside of us,
y que con este tipo de talleres nos ayudan a sacarlos a flote.
and that this type of workshops helps us bring that out.
De esta manera podemos ayudar a nuestros hijos en todas sus actividades escolares para que lo puedan lograr todas sus metas con éxito.
In this manner, we can help our children in all of their school activities so that they can successfully achieve all their goals.
Conocí padres que compartieron también sus experiencias de haber participado en estos talleres
I met parents who also shared their experiences having participated in these workshops,
y ellos aprendieron a ser mejores padres.
and they learned to be better parents.
También pienso que esa es una muy buena estrategia para poder nosotros ayudar,
I also think that this is a very good strategy to help us help,
para ayudar a nuestros padres a concientizar y a ayudar a que ellos pierdan ese miedo de acercarse a estar en las actividades de todos sus hijos.
to make other parents aware, and so that they can lose that fear of participating and being involved in all the activities that their children have.
Quiero agradecer que me hayan dado esta oportunidad de haber participado, porque aprendes a ver las cosas muy diferentes y cómo ayudar a tus hijos.
I want to thank you for allowing me to have participated in this, because that gives us the opportunity to see things from a very different perspective on how to help our children.
También me siento con la gran necesidad y deseo de ayudar a otros padres para que también ellos tengan la misma oportunidad de pasar por este tipo de experiencias.
I also feel the great desire to help other parents so that they can also go through these great experiences.
Espero en un futuro no muy lejano podremos tener estos talleres en todas nuestras escuelas y de esta manera vamos a tener verdaderos líderes familiares.
I hope that we can have these workshops in a near future in all of our schools, and that way we can have true leaders at all of our schools.
Además, quiero que siempre recuerden algo, que el liderazgo comienza en el corazón y el éxito comienza en nuestro hogar. Gracias.
Furthermore, I want you to think that leadership begins in the heart and success begins at home.
Thank you.
We have a couple more slides. There's Kolb Elementary School. We have some interaction with parents and then the whole group of parents that are there at the bottom. Just different workshops that are continuing at the schools. Family leadership does lead to increased student achievement. It's not only a program that builds parent capacity, it's not a mandated program by our superintendent or anyone here at the district office, but it is an avenue toward reaching the goal of increasing Rialto's parent engagement as we build leaders and positive role models for our teachers. We do at the bottom left have the family spelled out there, the graduation hats, and then on the far right, on the bottom, that's the graduating class of the first cohort that attended the Las Vegas conference. I know Las Vegas does have a certain connotation when you hear that we are attending a conference in Las Vegas. It is not that at all. I know it. I attended the first one. We had an opportunity to bond with the people that we attended with, the parents. We spent, I know I spent every minute of my free time with parents. We did different things, we built relationships, and we bonded. And I think I feel as though I have a continuing heartfelt relationship with those parents now, even after the conference. So we'd like to open it up to any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions from the board? Any input? Okay. All right. Well, I'd just like to say thank you for making sure that our parents do have this opportunity. Again, I had the pleasure of hearing Dr. Kickbush almost 2 years ago at the Unity Conference, and her message at that time was very, it was engaging. And then when we brought her here to our district to keynote for our family, our parent institute, but then several districts across California have used the FLI to engage their parents as a formal way to teach a curriculum and then to teach the other parents and teachers and administrators to come back to their district. So I'm excited about that. I'm glad the parents were able to get something out of it and bring it back and to build the other parents. So thank you for the work that you all are leading there. Thank you for the parents who've enjoyed it and been there, and hopefully we'll be able to expand and make sure that other parents are getting that training to build the leadership capacity for their families in their schools. So
Yes.
thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Ms. Walker?
Yes,
Do we
Mr.
have-
Montez.
Do we have any administrators that would like to give a few comments in regards to the program?
Anyone who has attended the program, administrators that would like to?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Arnie Ayala. I'm the principal of Rialto High School. Good evening, President Walker, Board of Education, and Dr. Avila. I went to the training this last summer. I wasn't prepared to speak, and there's a reason for that. I conducted the first session, and I had to open up my heart and tell my story. And it was very difficult for me because I had to share some very personal experiences that I experienced as an immigrant to this country and going through public education, and also shared some very important experiences that my family went through. My mother fighting cancer and losing her battle with cancer. So the first lesson was based on the theme, leadership begins at home. And the lesson really focuses on allowing the presenters like myself, Ms. Cuellar, the principal at Casey, to share our story and make connections with the parents. Without the title, we made it very clear that we were there as human beings. And I shared something very personal. My given name is Arnulfo, is not Arnie. And I made it very clear moving forward that I was sharing Arnulfo's story. And so anyways, that was the lesson. We did a number of activities. We talked about the dreams that our parents have for their children, and then we shared them. They also had a homework assignment where they had to put together a storyboard and open up their hearts and talk about and share their story. And that was very powerful. There was not a single dry eye in the classroom. Ms. Cuellar was also, I don't know if she's here, but she was also one of the presenters, and she also had the opportunity to share her story. Wow, hers was powerful. And on the second day, or on the second session, our parents also had the opportunity to share their stories. and very moving. And we all came to the conclusion at the end of the second session is that we share a lot of the same experiences. And we talked about leadership and how we overcame those challenges. We talked about being the best parent and that not being easy because, as we all know, our kids don't come with instructions. We also had some real courageous and transparent conversations. And I shared with the parents that my father's way of handling things wasn't the best. I love the man, respect the man. But the way that he disciplined us was the way that he was disciplined. And he grew up thinking and believing that he could fix everything with a belt. And oftentimes, that's not the best way. So we talked about communication and communicating with our kids and having that relationship with our kids and being there to support them. So it was very powerful. So I am really looking forward to the third session. And the third session will be led by Mr. Ross, by the assistant principal of Boyd, and then it'll be concluded by Ms. Ramona Rodriguez from Garcia, and they recently went to the FLI. And Ms. Cuellar and I told them when we first started, it's an experience that we cannot explain. And when Mrs. Rodriguez was at the FLI, she texted me, she says, Arnie, I know exactly what you mean. And speaking with them earlier, they are excited and looking forward to the third session and the fourth session. And that will be concluded with the graduation. And my hope and my goal is to continue with additional cohorts of our parents.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to, I'm glad we heard from an administrator because it looks like it's as beneficial for our staff as it is for our parents. So thank you, Mr. Ayala.
Any other comments or any questions for the presenters? Okay. Thank you. So we'll lead into our next presentation, which will be the parent engagement presentation regarding the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities.
Okay, now it's on. Good evening, President Walker, board members, and Dr. Avila. My name is Marina Madrid. I am the Director of English Learner Programs here in the Rialto Unified School District, and I have the pleasure to speak with you this evening about a wonderful experience that I shared with 4 of our Rialto parents. We attended the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities in October in San Antonio. And we went with the mission of discovering what HACU was all about and what we could bring back to our district. HACU represents more than 470 school districts, colleges, and universities that are committed to success for higher education in the United States, Puerto Rico, Latin America, and Spain. Some of the member institutions that you might recognize from California are Azusa Pacific University, Cal Poly Pomona, 14 of the Cal State University schools, Chaffey College, Humboldt State, Loyola Marymount, Riverside City College, San Diego State, 5 of the University of California campuses, the University of Laverne, San Bernardino City Unified School District, Colton Joint Unified School District, and the Rialto Unified School District. And I am very proud to tell you that we are one of 21 Hispanic serving school districts across the nation that belong to this organization. The mission of HACU is to champion Hispanic success in higher education by promoting the development of member districts, colleges, and universities, It's to champion Hispanic success in higher education by improving access to and the quality of post-secondary educational opportunities for Hispanic students. And it also champions meeting the needs of business, industry, and government through the development and sharing of resources, information, and expertise. The benefits of membership include giving us the opportunity to address the many challenges that we face K-12 to prepare students to enter and complete post-secondary education. It also gives us the benefit of having the opportunity to collaborate with colleges and universities to frame, develop, carry out new and innovative initiatives that benefit our respective student populations and significantly increase Hispanic student success. And so here in the middle, these are some pictures of our experience at Haku. And in the middle there, you'll notice that we are with other employees and parents from Colton Joint Unified School District and San Bernardino City, as well as the superintendent for our county. And now I'll invite the 4 parents that attended Haku to come up and share some of their experiences.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Dr. Avila, and the audience. My name is Margarita de la Torre Valdez, and I am one of the parents who attend Haku in San Antonio, Texas. I would like to thank our board and the superintendent for supporting and advocating for the parents' education and for the truly making a difference with the parents' involvement. The attendance of the parents of Rialto to Haku made a great impact at the conference, because usually the conference is only attended by administrators and faculty. Our representation was a huge success at the conference, and Rialto made its marks, sending parents to this important conference. As parents, we feel the district is opening its door to our engagement so that our children can be successful. We already saw the impact in our district too. Some parents had visited Valley College and took a tour of the campus. Now, we are in process to visit Cal State San Bernardino soon. We thank you for the opportunity to establish these visits to several colleges and universities. We want to be active, and we want to be a stronger supporters for our children's education. With programs like this, we can make our children's success a reality. We look forward to have much more opportunities to learn, because we want our school district to be world-class status. We appreciate your hard work as a board members, your service, and we value and appreciate making us as a part of this learning experience. Thank you, and good evening.
Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Avila, and ladies and gentlemen in the audience. My name is Xochitl Esqueda, and I represent Trapp and Kelly Elementary Schools. Education has been very important to me all my life, and being a part of my children's education was a must. Having a college degree has given me a sense of pride and confidence, especially being Hispanic, bilingual, and first generation to go to college in my family. I want to thank Dr. Avila for giving me the opportunity to attend the Haku workshops, which were very informational. And although they were very informational, the experience of attending these workshops with these other 4 ladies that were chosen to attend was priceless, because we got to meet the human side of each other. We got to learn from each other's skills, professionalism, and leadership in their own home. That experience was priceless. I'm truly honored, and I highly appreciate being one of the 4 parents chosen, along with Dr. Madrid, whom we learned so much from. I want to really thank you for investing in the parents of Rialto. And I want to let you know that I am committed to continue to be involved in my community, to empower other parents to go out and seek the information that they need in order for their children to get to college. I want you to know that the investment was very well invested and that I'm committed to make a difference in our community. Thank you.
Damas y caballeros, buenas noches.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
Mi nombre es Gladys Velázquez y represento a Morris Elementary School.
My name is Gladys Velázquez and I represent Morris Elementary School.
Quiero comentarles de lo que aprendí atendiendo los talleres de Haku
So I want to tell you about what I learned going to these Haku workshops.
y algunas de las cosas que aprendí es la importancia que tienen las becas para nuestros estudiantes.
And so some of the things that I learned were the importance of some of these scholarships have for our students.
Son recursos que están a nuestras manos y muchos de nosotros no sabemos que existen para utilizarlos.
These are resources that are right out of our hands, and some of us don't know that they exist so that we can utilize them.
Algo que es muy importante es el camino para obtenerlas y cómo utilizarlas.
Something that is very important is the way to obtain them and how to use them.
Hago una invitación a todos los padres de familia para que se involucren más en las actividades de la escuela.
So I invite all the parents so that they can become more involved in the school activities.
Quiero agradecerle a la mesa directiva y al señor Ávila
I want to thank the board and Mr. Avila
por la oportunidad de participar en estos talleres. Me sirvieron muchísimo.
for the opportunity of participating in these workshops. They were very useful to me.
Aprendí en ellos cosas que desconocía totalmente de los niveles académicos.
I learned things that I didn't know at all in regards to the different academic levels.
Quiero agradecerles esta noche la participación y hacer un agradecimiento especial a los administradores de mi escuela que están aquí.
I want to thank you tonight for allowing me to participate, and I especially want to thank the administrators of my school who are here tonight,
Y a los padres de mi escuela que están aquí también apoyándome.
and the parents of my school who are here also supporting.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Muy buenas noches. Quiero mi nombre es Natividad Manzanera. Todos me conocen por Nati.
Good evening. My name is Natividad Manzanera. Everybody knows me as Nati.
Y esta tarde quiero venir a compartir con ustedes las experiencias que tuve el haber participado en la conferencia de Haku.
And tonight I want to share with you the experiences I went through when I participated in the workshops of Haku.
Como una de las personas seleccionadas para asistir a esta conferencia, fue un placer estar ahí.
As one of the 4 people elected to go to this conference, for me it was a pleasure having been there.
Pero sobre todo el honor de poder estar en un lugar donde tenemos todos los recursos y toda la información que como padres necesitamos para el éxito de nuestros hijos.
But more importantly, the honor of being in a place where we have all the tools and all the resources for us, the parents, to participate in the education of our children.
Creo es importante destacar que el que tengamos los recursos no nos va a llegar al éxito de nuestros estudiantes.
I think that it's important to emphasize that having the resources doesn't necessarily mean we'll achieve the success of our students.
Es la dedicación de los padres y el tiempo que ellos trabajan con sus hijos, que buscan estos recursos, los implementan para que estos estudiantes lleguen a ser universitarios.
It's actually the dedication of the parents and the time that they spend working with their students in teaching them how to use this and how to implement these resources so that they can achieve their educational goals.
Dentro de los diferentes talleres a los que asistí,
Hubo algunos talleres enfocados en estudiantes que realmente se han destacado.
Within the workshops that I went to, there were some workshops that were focused on students of high achievement,
En los que ayudan para que estos estudiantes puedan lograr terminar su carrera en un corto plazo.
In these workshops, they teach us how to help these students to finish their careers in a shorter term.
Pero también tenemos el lado opuesto, en donde muchos estudiantes necesitan tomar clases adicionales para estar preparados y tomar esas clases de nivel colegio.
But we also saw the other extreme workshops where students learn how to be better prepared and how to take those remedial classes so that they can achieve that preparation to be able to access the universities.
Lo que más me impactó fue el hecho de que los presentadores nos dieran estadísticas donde muestran que la participación de los estudiantes hispanos ha sido y se mantiene muy baja.
What impacted me the most was when the presenters gave us data that showed that the participation of Hispanic students, it is still at a very low rate.
Y quiero hacer énfasis en de que creo que es responsabilidad del padre, no nada más de la escuela, que estos estudiantes logren sus metas y sus sueños.
And I want to emphasize that I sincerely believe that it isn't simply the responsibility of the school, but also of the parents to help these students achieve their educational goals.
Fue un placer haber estado con estas damas y haber compartido estas experiencias.
It was a pleasure to have shared with these ladies these experiences.
Pero creo que nuestro trabajo apenas empieza.
But I believe that our work is just beginning.
Y nuestro trabajo es compartir esta información con otros padres.
And our work is sharing all this information with other parents.
Después de haber regresado de esta conferencia,
Having come back from this conference,
tuve la oportunidad de conocer un padre que se acercó y me confió sus necesidades.
I had a parent that came up to me and shared with me what his needs were.
Y realmente me dio mucho gusto saber que tenía información que ella podía utilizar.
And it really gave me great pleasure to know that I had information that this parent could utilize.
Este padre tiene un hijo en el grado 12.
This parent has a child in the 12th grade.
Que su sueño es ir al colegio.
Whose dream is to go to a university.
Pero su madre no estaba preparada y no sabía qué paso seguir.
But his mother was not prepared and didn't know what steps to take.
Yo le informé de que podía asistir a algunos de los eventos, el viaje al colegio Valley Community College.
So I informed the parent that she could or he could attend these events, including the trip to Valley Community College.
Y también la referí con administradores y personal del distrito que le podía guiar aún más.
And I also refer her to employees and administrators of the district who could give her further guidance.
Ahora este estudiante tiene un sueño que cree que sí lo puede realizar.
Now this student has a dream that he seems to know now that he can actually achieve it.
Y a mí me gustaría ver que muchos más estudiantes vieran que ese sueño es posible de alcanzar.
And I would like for more students to come to the realization that that dream can be achieved.
Quiero agradecer al distrito,
I want to thank the district,
a los miembros del comité, de la mesa directiva, al doctor Ávila por esta oportunidad, pero también les pido que sigan apoyando porque nuestros estudiantes hispanos pueden llegar muy lejos, pero necesitamos un empujón.
I want to thank you for that opportunity, but I want to ask you also to continue supporting us because our Hispanic students can actually achieve it. They just need that little shove.
Les agradezco por su atención. Muchas gracias.
Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies. And so I think that we would all agree that there's value in education. Our job at K-12 is to make sure that our students are prepared to go on to post-secondary education. The experience at Haku gave our parents the information and the knowledge that they needed in order to understand what the next steps should be. So it's not just about the student being prepared, but it's also about the parent knowing how to guide their child into those next steps and to be able to turn to the right resources in order for the child to be able to get there. And so attending the Haku conference gave us all that opportunity in knowing what those resources are, gave us the opportunity to not only collaborate with each other, but also with our neighboring districts who are members of this organization, and it also gave us the opportunity to collaborate with other member institutions that are involved in higher education. And so that trip to Valley College that was mentioned by our parents was a trip that we were able to organize through the relationship that we built with the coordinator there at Haku. The parents were also invited through the relationship that we built with one of the coordinators in the EL program in Colton Joint Unified as well. And we are building and fostering other relationships with other members of Haku. Saber es poder. And in English, we say knowledge is power. And so, you know, I really want to speak highly of the experience that I had with these parents. And as Nati said, our work is just beginning. When these parents were chosen to form this team, we took a look at parents who already were already displaying leadership either at their schools or at the district level. And when I first met with them to invite them to come to this conference, I explained to them, it's not just about going to the conference. It's about working hard every minute that we're there to make sure that what we bring back is of value to our district. And it's also about what we do with that information once we get back. And the relationships that these parents build with other parents in our district will be of high value because it's through peer relationships that change is made. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I'm ready.
Are there any questions from the board or any input? Okay.
Keep up the good work.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. At this time, we'll move into our comment section, and first will be the public comments from the floor. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Do we have any?
We do.
Okay.
First is Mirna Ruiz.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
Madam President Walker and Dr. Avila and audience. I'm here tonight to thank you all from our last meeting. You guys mentioned about Warner Elementary and the traffic and, you know, hiring cross guards. I want to say thank you for doing that. I know that there's been 2 people hired already, and parents are really happy. And I know we're making progress in that, and I just wanted to thank you for that. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Next is Celia Zelaya.
Buenas noches, miembros de la mesa directiva.
Good evening, members of the board.
Presidenta Ms. Walker.
President Ms. Walker.
Superintendente Dr. Ávila.
Superintendent Dr. Avila.
Audiencia.
And the audience.
Soy Celia Zelaya Saravia.
I am Celia Zelaya Saravia.
Y represento a Amigos Unidos.
And I represent Amigos Unidos.
Grupo de apoyo para padres de niños especiales.
A support group for parents of children with special needs.
Y estoy aquí para felicitar a nuestro superintendente,
And I'm here to congratulate our superintendent,
Dr. Ávila,
Dr. Avila,
por el tan merecido reconocimiento que recibió el 16 de enero.
for the deserved recognition he received on the 16th of January.
Los padres de educación especial
the parents of special education
y la comunidad de Rialto,
and the Rialto community,
nos sentimos orgullosos de usted
feel very proud of yourself
y de nuestra junta directiva
and
también.
our board as well.
También queremos felicitarlos
We also want to congratulate you
por la nueva contratación de la coordinadora de educación especial,
for the the hiring of the new coordinator of special education,
la doctora Patricia Mbúa.
Doctora Patricia Mbua.
Mbúa. Se ve que tiene mucho conocimiento en el área
It seems that she has a lot of knowledge in this area,
y está haciendo muy buen equipo con Erika Johnson
and she's making a great team with Erica Johnson
y con las especialistas de programa.
and with the program specialists.
Y eso es muy bueno para los intereses de nuestros
And this
estudiantes.
is great for the interest of our students.
También felicitar a Mr. Campbell
Also congratulate Mr. Campbell,
porque recibió la llave del distrito
having received
la
the
junta
dis-
pasada.
having received the key to the
Y
district on the past meeting.
hablamos tanto que se nos pasó ese detalle, pero no quisimos pasar desapercibido este día.
And we spoke so much on that day that we kind of missed that little detail, and we didn't want to let it go tonight.
Qué bueno que el distrito reconozca el esfuerzo y dedicación
It is great that the district recognizes the effort and the dedication
de sus empleados,
of its employees,
porque sí tenemos muy buenos terapistas.
because we do have very good therapists.
Por ejemplo, la doctora Jaffe, que está aquí.
For instance, Dr. Jaffe, who's here,
Ella es de lenguaje.
she is of language.
Y la menciono porque he estado en muchas juntas de IP con ella.
And I mention her because I've been in a lot of meetings with her,
Es una gran profesional.
and she's a great professional.
Propone metas excelentes,
She proposes excellent goals
basándose en las necesidades de los estudiantes.
based on the needs of our students.
Tenemos muy buenos administradores,
We have very good administrators,
muy buenas secretarias
very good secretaries
que hacen su trabajo muy bien.
that do their job very well.
Pero sobre todo tenemos muchos padres
But more than anything, we have many parents
que estamos dispuestos a apoyar a nuestro distrito,
who are willing to support our district,
a trabajar todos juntos
to work all together
por el éxito
for the success
de todos nuestros estudiantes.
of all of our students.
También Mr. Ayala, Arnulfo Ayala.
Arnulfo Ayala.
Fue muy importante lo que compartió
It was very important what he shared,
porque motiva a los estudiantes y a nosotros los padres.
because this motivates the students as well as us, the parents.
Y a Yowan, no quiero pasar desapercibido.
I don't want to miss out.
Te ves muy bien con tu ropa así de estudiante.
I'll say that you look very nice with your student outfit.
Lo menciono porque siempre vienes tan formal y es muy bonito ver a nuestros estudiantes que le ponen responsabilidad y representación en la mesa.
I mention it because you're always dressed so formally, and I think it's really nice to see our students facing or taking up that responsibility of being part of the board.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Next, we have Ines Wanzer.
Good evening, board members. I wanted to give you an update on my son's IEP. We actually had one this morning, and we're going to go to mediation to try to get some resolution on Monday of exactly what needs to be addressed for my child in the school board. In the Rialto Unified School District. I did want to address some things that I saw in your booklet from reference F61 through F85. I don't know when this book is actually given to the public. It's dated for today. And these are part of the agendas in the book. But on the last page that I read when I was glancing through it, on F82, number 4 there, it says that the public really can't speak on things that the board members have already had in the agendas. And I didn't quite understand what that meant, because this addressed a lot of the things that I had spoke about in my last meeting, but I need more clarification from someone, if possible. I did get a letter from your director of special education that just addressed one item of my concern that I had given you all. But we are doing a mediation on Monday, and I hope that we do get a resolution. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Gabriela Solis Limon.
Buenas noches.
Good evening.
Buenas noches, miembros del board, a la presidenta Dina Walker, doctor Ávila y a
Members of
toda
the
la
board, President
audiencia.
Walker, Dr. Avila, and the audience.
Que mi nombre es Gabriela Solís Limón.
My name is Gabriela Solis Limon.
Yo vengo a hacer un comentario que venga para ustedes. ¿Hasta cuándo vamos a poder, nuestros estudiantes tengan unas malas condiciones en los campos para ellos para hacer educación física?
I'm here to give you a comment for all of you, and I'm asking till when our students will continue
Sufriendo,
doing
yeah.
physical education in those poor conditions.
Ya. ¿Cuántos niños más tienen que lastimarse en ese campo o en esos campos? Las condiciones en las que están los campos realmente no están apropiadas para que los niños hagan educación física en ellos.
How many more children must get hurt while doing physical education in these fields? These fields are not in the proper conditions for children to actually do physical education activities.
Ya. Voy a hablar sobre la experiencia propia.
So I'll speak in regards to my own personal experience.
Sí, a mi hija hace más de un año ella se quebró el pie haciendo educación física.
My daughter, a little more over a year ago, broke her foot during physical education.
Sí. Ella estuvo 4 meses sin poder, en silla de ruedas.
She had to spend the next 4 months in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Entonces, yo hablé con la directora sobre este problema.
And I spoke to the principal about this problem.
Cuando yo recibí el primer reporte este año del primer trimestre,
When I received the report of the first trimester this year,
yo vi que mi hija tenía una baja calificación en educación física.
I saw that my daughter had a low grade in physical education.
Cuando yo le pregunté cuál era la razón por la que ella tenía eso, porque
When I asked her what was the reason for that low grade,
ella me dijo, mam, yo tengo miedo de hacer educación física en ese campo, volverme a lastimar.
she told me, Mom, I'm afraid to do physical education on that field and getting hurt again.
Entonces no estoy corriendo, mam, por eso me tienen esa calificación.
And I'm not running, Mom. That's the reason why they're giving me that grade.
Yo volví a hablar con la directora de Cusera Middle School.
I spoke again with the principal of the school mentioned.
Y ella me dijo que ella iba a hablar con el maestro. El maestro se dirigió conmigo y habló conmigo.
She told me she would speak to the teacher. The teacher came to me and spoke with me.
Y como yo le dije tanto a la directora como al maestro, no es un problema del maestro. El maestro estaba dándole la calificación correcta. Ella no estaba realizando lo que necesitaba hacer para obtener una buena calificación.
And as I said to the principal as well as to the teacher, it wasn't the teacher who was doing the wrong thing. He was giving the correct grade. My daughter was actually refusing to do the physical education work because of the condition of the field.
Así es. Entonces, yo sí no sé qué manera podemos como padres llegar a una solución.
So I'm wondering how we as parents can arrive at a solution.
Porque como es este caso, la directora solamente pasó la bolita a otra persona.
Because as in this case, the principal simply passed the buck to someone else.
Y no realizó ningún arreglo.
And didn't do anything to fix this.
Yo, que soy por lo menos un poquito más más interesada en que mi hija tenga o que mis hijos tengan un éxito en su educación, yo me dirigí directamente al distrito y quiero agradecerle al doctor Ávila porque él escuchó mi problema y está poniendo solución a él.
Because I'm a person who's a little bit more interested in the education of my daughter, I immediately went to Dr. Avila and he's actually working with me to fix this problem.
Pero yo soy una mamá que no se detiene hasta ahí. Pero hay muchos padres que no lo hacen porque no saben qué seguir. Entonces sí es triste que nuestros hijos sufran porque los administradores no hacen su trabajo, simplemente van y ponen, ok, voy a trabajar. no hacer algo por los estudiantes.
But I'm the kind of parent that won't stop at anything. And there are parents who will not know what to do next. And so it isn't fair that our children must suffering under these conditions when the administrators simply check off a box and say, okay, I'll work on it.
Y no hago un poco más por
And then
ellos.
don't do a little more for them.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have Peter Atwood.
Well, good evening. My name
Good
is Peter
evening.
Atwood, as was said. I am an education advocate. I am at the moment representing somebody in the district who ran into a lot of trouble in a county class, not a district class. I think that's an important point to make. Just as a preliminary matter, I wanted to address the speaker policy here. When you go to 9323C, which happens to be here, it is correct. It is legally proper and appropriate. It says here that the board, where does it say here that the board shall not prohibit public criticism of its policies and so forth? And in addition, the board may not prohibit public criticism of district employees, which is correct. It goes along with the district court's decision in Baca v. Moreno Valley Unified back in 1996, and I like that. What is less good is at the very first page here on this booklet, it says that each person who addresses the board shall not make slanderous or profane remarks. The problem here is profane remarks are easy to recognize. Slanderous remarks, as the court said there, that's whether something is slanderous or not is to be determined by a court. You guys are not in a position to do that. So you can't prohibit slanderous remarks because you're not in a position to determine whether they are or not. It contradicts the policy here, 9323C, besides what the district court had to say. So that should change. Now, the other thing that ought to change is I saw in the website that it actually says that people are not allowed to criticize public employees, which is also contradicts your policy and the law. So I would appreciate it if somebody would go to the website and clean up that language. So that is my preliminary stuff. I wanted to mention concerning my special education situation here. We have a resolution session on Friday afternoon, and if Superintendent Avila would like to come, we would be glad to see you. We're going to see the district's attorney, who is not supposed to be there, but we have invited her as our special guest. And if the superintendent would like to come, we'd appreciate seeing you. You might actually see the sorts of things that go on. The mom in question will be coming up here and speaking in more detail what happened to her kid. The district's problem here isn't that the district staff did anything, but the district allowed the county to do this, is still allowing people to be in that class at Dolahan. And it's pretty appalling. So you'll need to know about that and hopefully want to fix it.
Next, we have Mercedes Sanchez.
Good evening. I'm here to talk to you about the experience that I've had with the Clay Counseling Program at Morgan Elementary. My son, Aulanis, is participating in the program, and he was having problems with anxiety to the point that he did not want to attend school. The day before, as soon as he knew it was bedtime, he would want to go over the routine of what was going to happen at his school over and over again. It was interfering with his schoolwork until his teacher advised me of the program. He started attending the program, and change was almost automatic. He is now involved at school, no longer having problems with his schoolwork, has already received a Student of the Month award. So I am really glad that you guys have that program available for the students, and I would really encourage you to continue with that sort of programs in the school. Thank you.
Next, we have Paula Bailey.
Good evening, board members. Our president, Ms. Dina Walker, first time I've got to come up here and officially get to say that. Superintendent, other than Happy New Year, since I haven't really got to talk to you all. I I decided tonight I wanted to talk about something. I'm not going to get too much into detail because it does have personal issues behind it. In my experiences recently with our special education department, you know, I always like to work together and how it can work. In regards to one of my students, there was some challenges. And I really want to say how much I appreciate that Shelly Gates stepped up to do everything and anything that was necessary and support. Robin Lopez, just amazing, so supportive, looking at my child and doing what needed to be done. When I needed to contact Dr. Koss, I had the support, I had the attention that I needed, in looking at what legally was allowed. I was educated in what was appropriate, inappropriate. It's hard to have a kid that has split parents. That I'm sure many can understand that. You know, there's not always everybody agreeing, and just staying on a level playing field, regardless of which parent was, and following the law to where it needed to go. I truly appreciate that. You know, I'm fairly involved. I send resources and stuff because of the type of job I do, working with little ones, and I see them utilized that I get and the district can use. So it makes me feel good that they're taking advantage of things that are given to them in the best interest of our kiddos. So I just wanted to say I'm happy about the direction we're going. I'm happy, you know, that our district's working more with our SELPA and our trainings and the stuff that's offered there. I know SELPA's got their new website up that the district's been very well working with to get that stuff together. And I just want to say how much I appreciate the staff in the special ed department, because it's very challenging having a student with special education needs. So thank you, and thank you all, and Happy New Year's once again.
Okay, do we have any more?
We do not.
Okay, so now's the time for any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda, and you'll be granted 3 minutes. Do we have any? Almost? Oh.
This is all I have. Let's see, Mirna, Celia, Inez, Gabriela, Peter, Mercedes, and Paula.
Buenas tardes. Buenas noches, adorable personal. Esta noche vengo... Okay. Mi nombre es Marta Avelar. Vengo a tratar de encontrar una solución a un problema con mi hijo que es de educación especial.
My name is Marta Avelar, and I'm here to try to find a solution to the problem my child has, who is a special needs student.
Yeah. Me es difícil decirlo porque mi hijo tiene diferentes discapacidades.
It is very difficult for me to say it because my student has many different disabilities
y condiciones médicas.
and medical conditions.
Y una de ellas fue completamente no atendida.
And one of them was completely ignored.
Él tiene constipación intestinal.
He suffers from intestinal constipation.
Yeah. Tuve la mala suerte de que cayó en una escuela donde no le atendieron.
I had the bad luck that this happened at a school where he was not attended.
En ella, mi hijo, varias veces era dicho que él tenía diarrea.
And they were told several times that my son had diarrhea.
Yo constantemente lo llevé al doctor.
And I constantly took him to the doctor.
Él decía, no, tu hijo tiene que estar constantemente laxado.
And he would say, no, your son must constantly be on laxatives.
Hasta 4 veces al día puede hacer.
Sometimes he can go to the bathroom even up to 4 times a day.
Yo le entregué esto a la maestra.
I
Cuando,
gave this to the teacher.
cuando ella lo recibe, dijo, ok. Pero la cuestión fue que él, durante el tiempo que iniciaron clases, después del mes de julio de vacaciones,
And she said, okay, but the problem was that after classes were started again after the vacations of July,
llegó varias veces golpeado.
he came home several times. Golpeado con
Sí, llegó con un golpe en un ojo.
somebody had hit him in the eye.
No me notificaron como se supone que tienen que decirme. Él anteriormente había tenido un maestro que él había mandado un reporte diciéndome que él había sido lastimado y no lo hizo.
I was not notified the way I was supposed to have been notified. Previously, he had a teacher who had actually informed me that he had been hit, but not on this occasion.
Yo mando un cuaderno de comunicación.
I sent a notebook for communication.
Igual mando zapetas, pañales, mando toallitas húmedas, mando ropa limpia.
I also sent diapers, I also sent towelettes, I also sent clean clothes.
Y constantemente era llamada diciéndome que el niño estaba sucio.
And I was constantly getting phone calls to tell me that my son had soiled himself.
Hasta que después me llega golpeado del otro ojo.
Until one day he came and he had another hit mark on the other eye.
Y después tiene un rasguño en una pierna izquierda y me dicen que él no supieron dónde se lastimó,
And then he
no
had
tienen
a
idea.
scratch on his left leg, and they told me that they had no idea where he had hurt himself. They had no idea.
Eso me da la intención de que ellos no lo estaban cuidando.
And this indicates to me that they were not taking care of him.
Ya, entonces el problema fue que el siguiente vez, esto para el 14 de septiembre,
And the
me
problem was
llaman.
that for the 14th of September, they called me.
Me llaman de la escuela y me dicen, tu hijo está hecho del baño, ven y límpialo, porque no tiene toallas húmedas, no tiene pañales, no tiene ropa limpia, no tiene nada.
And they called me and told me, your son has soiled himself, come and clean him up, because he has no diapers, no towelettes, no clean clothes, no nothing.
Nada. Oh my God. Me hablan y me dicen, ven a limpiarlo, porque aquí en la escuela no hay nada y es un caos. La carpeta está llena de excremento.
They told me to come and clean him myself because we don't have anything here. And at school, it's a chaos. The carpet is full of excrement.
El salón es un caos.
And the classroom is a chaos.
Yo, mi esposo fuimos
My husband and myself went,
con la vergüenza porque es difícil.
feeling ashamed because this is difficult.
Aunque yo sé que esto lo tienen que hacer porque es su trabajo.
Even though I know that they have to do this because this is part of their job.
Tristemente llego al salón
Sadly, I arrived at the classroom.
y veo que el salón está abierto completamente las dos puertas
And I
porque
see that the
estaba
classroom-
el olor de la popó.
And I see that the classroom is opened completely, all the doors, because the smell of the poo-poo was in the classroom.
En ese rato sacan a los niños, estaban saliendo los niños con las ayudantes de la maestra.
At that moment, they had the teacher's aides bring up the children as they're coming out.
Y yo miro hacia adentro del salón y la maestra está sentando a mi hijo a la fuerza en una silla por la parte de atrás, por su espalda. Lo sentaba a la fuerza.
And I look in the classroom and I see the teacher forcibly sitting my child on the chair. She was grabbing him from the back and forcibly making him sit on the chair.
Él tiene epilepsia,
He
tiene
suffers from epilepsy.
muchas discapacidades
He has many
y gracias a Dios
disabilities.
está vivo.
And thanks to God, he's actually alive.
Y es difícil decirlo.
It's very difficult to say this.
Llegué, mi hijo tenía popó en las manos
I got there, my son had a poo-poo in his hands,
y me las enseñaba.
and he was showing me.
Ma, es difícil para mí porque es vergonzoso.
It's very difficult for me because this is very shameful.
Perdón. Empecé a limpiar a mi hijo. Lo que me dio tristeza es que ni la maestra pudo limpiarle las manos para que no se las metiera a la boca, porque mi hijo se va a terapia intensiva.
I started cleaning my son, and what made me even more sad was the teacher didn't even bother to clean his hands.
No
so
pude
he was
creer
going in his mouth.
Que no tenían toallitas húmedas.
I can't believe that they didn't have moist towels.
No pudieron ir a lavarle las manos al baño.
Couldn't they have taken him to the bathroom to wash his hands?
No pudieron hacer nada por él.
Couldn't they have done anything for him?
Mi hijo tenía, según ellos, diarrea.
My son, according to them, had diarrhea.
Yo limpié a mi hijo, lo empecé a cambiar.
I changed my son, and
Mi
I
hijo no
started
estaba
changing.
manchado de sus piernas.
His legs were not
La
soiled.
popó se salió por la parte de la espalda.
Poo-poo actually came out through the back,
La popó estaba seca, pegada en su piel.
and it was dry, and it was sticking to his skin.
La popó estaba en la carpeta porque lo dejaron maybe jugar abajo y no se dieron cuenta a qué hora él había hecho del baño.
The poo-poo was on the carpet because they probably let him play down there, and they never even noticed when he actually went.
Y no era diarrea, porque
it
yo
wasn't
la
diarrhea.
limpié con una... Me dio pena. Yo la limpié con una servilleta que yo llevaba de mi casa y se levantó fácilmente.
because I myself cleaned it with a towel that I had brought from home, and it was easily picked up.
La silla donde lo sentaba mi hijo estaba atascada, toda llena completamente. Sus pies, sus zapatos, su ropa.
The chair where he was forcibly sat had poop all over the place, and his feet, the carpet,
La silla, la mesa, todo estaba lleno.
the chair, the
Fue
table,
vergonzoso.
it was all over.
Y la maestra volteaba y me veía como diciendo, ¿ves lo que estás haciendo?
And the teacher would still look at me and say, see what you're doing?
En eso yo le dije a mi esposo, trae la silla de ruedas para que él se quede tranquilo.
So I told my husband, bring the wheelchair so that he can calm down.
Mi esposo sale y ve la mochila de mi hijo colgada en su silla de ruedas. Un descuido muy grande para mí. La dejaron colgada. En ella había pañales, había toallitas húmedas, había ropa limpia.
So my husband goes to get the wheelchair, and lo and behold, he notices the backpack was actually hanging from the chair. It had everything in it, moist towelettes, a diaper, everything.
Y lo que más me duele es que en esa mochila mi hijo carga un bienes porque él tiene convulsiones. Y el bienes le da descargas eléctricas al cerebro y le controla las convulsiones. Carga un medicamento que se llama Diastat.
What perturbs me the most is that in the backpack there was a VNS. A VNS is a device, because my son suffers from epileptic seizures, and this VNS device gives him electric shocks that regulate his brain.
No sabían dónde estaba la mochila de mi hijo, señores.
And they had no idea where the backpack, my son's backpack, was.
No entiendo cómo no tenían ellos idea dónde estaba, si simplemente había sido popó.
I don't understand how they had no idea where this backpack was. It was just poo-poo.
El miedo mío de volver a dejar a mi hijo en la escuela
My fear of leaving my child again at the school
es que no lo atiendan cuando él tenga una necesidad
is that they won't
más
meet his
grande.
needs when he has something worse happen to him.
Esto lo trataron de solucionar aquí en el distrito.
They tried to solve this here at the district,
Tuvimos una junta en octubre 12
and we had a meeting on October the 12th.
y según esto, Paulette Cross,
And supposedly Paulette Cross,
Scott White
Scott Wright,
y Laura Christmas
and Laura Chrisman.
tuvimos la reunión y ellos
We had a meeting, and they
me dijeron que habían llegado a un acuerdo que se le iba a dar los servicios principales o provisionales para que mi hijo estuviera en la escuela, porque yo no lo volví a llegar a la escuela.
And they said that they had come to an agreement to give him provisional services because so that he would return to school, because I hadn't taken him back to school.
En ello llegamos a que iba a ir un maestro a clase a mi casa.
We had agreed that a teacher would come to my house.
El maestro no sabía por dónde empezar.
And the teacher didn't know where to begin.
No sabía las metas que tenía mi hijo.
He didn't know the goals my son had.
Habló con la maestra y ella no tenía idea de lo que estaba hablando.
He spoke to the teacher, and she had no idea what she was talking about.
Me dijeron que iban a dar un iPad para que mi hijo se pudiera comunicar, porque yo varias veces, yo le comenté a la persona que estaba conmigo cuando hacía yo los AUP,
They told me they were going to give me an iPad so my son could communicate, because I mentioned this several times during the IEPs to the person who was conducting the IEPs.
que la necesidad de mi hijo era que se comunicara. Para mí es muy necesario que se comunique conmigo.
That the main need of my son was for him to be able to communicate. For me, it is very necessary that he's able to communicate.
Y me dice, dice, nosotros vamos a hacer una cita con la maestra de lenguaje. Cuando la maestra de lenguaje ni siquiera la conocía.
And they told me, yes, we're going to make an appointment with the speech teacher, when the speech teacher didn't even know.
Y no llegó nunca la cita con la maestra. Yo lo que quería con ella era saber qué método estaba utilizando para poder yo utilizarlo en mi casa y poderme comunicar con ella.
And all I wanted to know was what device or method was she using to communicate, so that I could use the same device at home to be able to communicate with her.
Y poder seguir un método para poder hablar con mi hijo.
And be able to follow some kind of method so I can speak.
El
to my son.
iPad llegó a mi casa,
The iPad did come home,
pero nunca llegó la persona que me iba a enseñar el método
but never,
para poder enseñar a mi hijo.
but never the person who was supposed to train me on its use so that I could teach my son.
Quedaron también en darle unas evaluaciones para saber, porque neurológicamente yo quiero saber qué nivel está mi hijo y no me dieron una.
They also agreed to give me some
Nivel.
evaluations or some testing to be able to know to what neurological level my son is, because I need to know, and they never did.
Yo di tiempo a que pasara las festividades de Navidad y el 22 de diciembre yo empecé a marcar a las diferentes listas que me dieron, mejor dicho, que el distrito me exigió que yo hablara e hiciera la cita con los especialistas para la evaluación que yo estaba pidiendo para mi hijo, para que se pueda poner en una clase correcta.
I waited long enough for the Christmas season to go by before beginning to call that list of specialists that the district insisted that I myself call so that I can schedule an appointment for that particular evaluation.
Y a la fecha no he tenido más que la de OT, que es la única evaluación que está para el mes de abril.
And to date, the only evaluation I've received is the OT, which is the only one that is up to date.
No sé, señores, qué es lo que puedan hacer por mí.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what it is that you can do for me.
Necesito una puerta, una solución,
I need some kind of door, some kind of solution.
por favor.
Please.
Thank you.
Buenas noches. Miembros del jurado, y doctor Ávila, audiencia, mi nombre es María Sandoval
Good evening, members of the board. Dr. Avila, my name is Maria Sandoval.
y vengo aquí con una preocupación también, al igual que la señora que acaba de hablar.
And I'm here also with a concern similar to the lady that just spoke.
Mis hijos están en Coursera Middle School
My children attend Coursera Middle School.
y en esta escuela ha venido sucesándose varios incidentes,
And at this school there have been several incidents,
uno de los cuales traigo aquí a su atención.
one of which I bring to your attention here today.
Es que los niños desde que se abrió esa escuela,
And that is that the kids, since the school opened,
los niños en tiempo de frío,
during the cold season,
de tiempo de calor fuerte
and the hot weather months,
y en tiempo de aires, que sabemos que aquí en Rialto pues
and in times of strong wind, which we know here in Rialto can be pretty strong,
los niños son a la hora del lonche, a la hora del almuerzo, del desayuno, a la hora que tengan que comer estos niños,
the kids at either breakfast time, at lunchtime, at whatever time these kids have to eat,
ellos los meten en la cafetería
they're brought inside the cafeteria
y los sientan en las sillas como si fueran a mirar no sé, una entrega de awards.
and they sit them down on the chairs as though they were about to witness some kind of award ceremony.
La comida se la tienen que poner en sus piernas
They have to put their food on their laps,
y tienen que comer.
and that's how they have to eat.
Muchas veces hay incidentes de que se les cae la comida.
There are incidents several times when food actually falls off.
No pueden, están tan pegados todos unos de otros que no pueden comer, como debe de ser.
And they are so sat down so close together that they really can't eat the way they should be able to eat.
Sabiendo que contamos con las mesas necesarias para que esos niños coman, que utilicen esas mesas, vamos.
Knowing, in fact, that we have the tables, the necessary tables for them to be able to eat, utilizing those tables, in fact.
Desgraciadamente siempre necesitan los administradores que uno como padre venga y se queje, venga y diga lo que por lógica deben de hacer.
Unfortunately, it seems that the administrators are always needing or waiting for us parents to come and complain, to come and let you know what it is that need to be done.
Y desgraciadamente, uno de mis hijos que está en high school pasó por esos incidentes a los cuales yo no estaba involucrada como hoy en las escuelas.
And unfortunately, one of my sons, who is now in high school, actually suffered some of those incidents, during which time I was not actually as involved as I am now in the school.
Pero hoy que tengo dos en esa misma escuela, como padre de familia fui a hablar con la directora.
But now that I have two kids that go to that school, as a parent, I came to speak to the principal
Y con los administradores.
and with the administrators,
Y su respuesta fue, no hay suficientes mesas.
and their answer was, we don't have enough tables.
Después yo les dije que sí había suficientes mesas porque las había contado.
And I told them that they did because I had actually counted them.
Y me dijeron, no hay espacio.
And they told me we don't have space.
Dije, pues lo hacemos.
Well, I'll say we'll make it.
Y Tuve que venir a hablar con Dr. Ávila. Tuve que también hacerle saber esto a la señora Anus.
And I ended up having to come and speak with Dr. Avila and with Mrs. Anus.
Lo cual la directora empezó a hacer su trabajo.
And so the principal actually started doing her work.
Pero una de las cosas que no me gustaron,
But one of the things I didn't like,
uno de los administradores empezó a grabar cuando estaban abriendo las mesas
one of the administrators started recording at the moment when they were opening up the tables
y le dijo a uno de los niños,
and told one of the children,
mira, para enseñárselo a tu mamá que ya estamos haciendo el trabajo.
see, so you can show your mother that we're actually beginning to do our work.
Eso para mí es bullying. Eso para mí es intimidar a los niños, a intimidar a los padres, para que yo no necesito que me callen la boca. Yo no necesito que hagan las cosas para que me satisfazgan a mí.
And that to me is bullying. That to me is a way to shut me up. That is a way of them to try to shut me up. I don't need them to do things because they want to shut me up. I don't need them to do things so that they can please me.
Yo necesito que hagan las cosas porque se tienen que hacer, porque supuestamente siempre estamos diciendo que lo más importante para nosotros son los niños.
I need them to do things because they must be done, because they have to be done, because supposedly we're always claiming that the most important thing here are the children.
Yo quiero saber una cosa y por favor quiero que me la respondan, si alguien tiene la respuesta.
I want to know one thing, and I want one of you to give me an answer, if you actually do have the answer.
¿Quién contrata a esta gente? ¿Quién les da el entrenamiento a esta gente para que estén cuidando a nuestros hijos?
Who hires these people? Who trains these people to be in charge of caring for our children?
Porque no lo están haciendo nada bien.
Because they're not doing it well at all.
El distrito gasta muchísimo dinero en talleres, manda y manda gente a talleres y talleres.
The district spends quite a lot of money on workshops, and they send people to different workshops.
Y los resultados desgraciadamente no se están viendo.
And the results, unfortunately, cannot be seen.
Yo quiero ser positiva
I want to be positive.
y quiero que este distrito sea un distrito único,
And I
no
want
comparado con nadie,
And I
ni
want
con
this
ninguno.
district to be unique, not comparable to anyone else or to any other district.
Pero ojalá y lo pueda ver pues pronto.
And hopefully I can see that soon.
Es todo, muchas gracias y que tengan muy buena noche.
That is it. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
That's all we have.
Okay, so for on the agenda items now, or do we have any?
We have none.
And we have none. Okay. So we'll be moving to the next section, which is number 3, comments from association executive members, Rialto Education Association, REA.
Good evening, Board.
evening.
Dr. Avila. Lisa Lindbergh here, for President of the Rialto Education Association. You have an item on your agenda this evening, item K3.1. It's the Early Notification One-Time Incentive Plan, and I'm here to encourage you to approve that item tonight. It is a start. Other districts are doing this so that they can get a jump on recruitment. There is a teacher shortage out there, especially in areas of special education and some of the single subject credentials at the high school, like chemistry, things like that. This will help a little bit. I do need to tell you, other districts are offering a higher price for the notification, but this is a good start, and I'm here to thank you for that. Also, I'd like to draw your attention to the board policy, reference F7.1 on guidance and counseling services. And there's some great things in here on the responsibilities of school counselors. And I was reading through this, and it appears to me that there are a lot more things that school counselors are expected to do and handle. I know you've had some of our school counselors at this podium speaking to this. My point in all of this is that we need more counselors. And it's more than just the academic and educational counseling, as some of our people have mentioned. Our kids need guidance in a lot of areas, and also at the elementary level. I think it's really important that we eventually get some counselors there. So those are my 2 items this evening, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we'll have California School Employees Association, CSEA. Is there someone to speak?
Good evening, Board and Dr. Avila. Just want to say thank you. You guys are all doing a good job. I'm having the pleasure of working with Rhonda Kramer and Rhea, and I'm looking forward to having a good year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Communication Workers of America, CWA. Is there a representative tonight? No. Okay. Rialto School Managers Association, RSMA. He's running. I saw your church finger.
Thought CWA was going to give me a little buffer.
Running up.
Good evening, board members, President Walker, Vice President Martinez, Clerk Montez, and board members O'Kelly, and Mr. Ayala, and our student board member and star basketball player, and our superintendent, Dr. Avila. I rise before you from RSMA, and we just briefly want to congratulate two of our administrators for receiving recognition in AXA Region 12. If you could join me in celebrating Leonard Buckner, our coordinator for child welfare and attendance. He was honored as AXA Region 12 Valuing Diversity Administrator of the Year. We're very proud of him. And because Rialto does everything double, we have another recipient, Mr. Armando Ortiega. Our principal at Jehu Middle School received the honor as AXA Region 12 Middle School Principal of the Year. We're excited for him too. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Next, we'll have comments from the superintendent.
Thank you, President Walker. And tonight I humbly begin by thanking Mr. Ricky Van Johnson, who is not only an Eisenhower High School graduate and former mayor pro tem of San Bernardino, but also one of the leaders of the Inland Empire Concerned African American Churches, who honored me with the Dr. King Prayer Breakfast Patriots Vision and Dreams Award at Cal State San Bernardino on January the 16th. And I also want to extend my gratitude to the district staff who attended the event to show support. And although you were referred to by Mr. Johnson as the rowdy bunch from Rialto, I call you the enthusiastic bunch, and thank you for your support. It was a great experience to observe our staff members, board members, parents, including Mr. and Mrs. Collier, and Jawan for attending. But it was Grandma, Jawan's grandma, who was truly inspiring, given her energy and enthusiasm at the event. And also want to thank keynote speaker Mr. Daniel Walker for not only pumping up the 600 plus crowd to their feet, but also for igniting the fire, challenging us to not just dream, but to take action and move forward, which was the essence of Dr. King's dream. And so very appropriately, let me talk about a few of our own who are taking action to either live their dreams or to inspire others to do so. And so I congratulate this month's Rialto Kiwanis Students of the Month from Rialto High School, Edward Ivan Delgado and Cameron Tropez. Congratulations to Mr. Buckner and Mr. Urtiaga, as Derek just mentioned, for their recognitions by AXA. I am very proud of you for bringing your A game day in and day out for the students and staff here in our district. Congratulations to Mrs. Marie Thornsberry, Hugh Banks Elementary School teacher. She is one of two teachers from the Inland Empire selected to participate in the experience of a lifetime by flying on NASA's Stratospheric Observatory. Research on SOFIA will be conducted on the modified short body 747, which launched yesterday from Armstrong Flight Research Center in Palmdale. Mrs. Thornsberry will be observing NASA scientists as they conduct experiments at 43,000 feet above sea level. That's almost 10,000 feet higher than the altitude of most commercial airlines. She will also have the opportunity to conduct experiments of her own, and she will return to Earth with an incredible story to share with her students in her class. We shared this information on Facebook and will be honoring Ms. Thornsberry when she returns from space. And a big thank you to all who coordinated and participated in the inaugural Young Men's Leadership Conference this past Saturday at Carter High School. It was attended by more than 125 middle and high school students and a host of guests, including keynote speaker Senator Connie Leyva, Assemblywoman Eloise Reyes, and our board president, Ms. Dina Walker, and board member Mr. Joseph Ayala, and over a dozen guest speakers who conducted workshops on the essentials to become a responsible and successful man. The energy throughout the morning was unbelievable. And our RUSD alumni spotlight comes from Rialto High School. We salute Chief Petty Officer Jaciel Espinosa, who graduated from Rialto High School in 2000 and is currently serving in the U.S. Navy aboard USS Somerset, which is one of the world's most modern network, survivable, and transformational warships. Officer Espinosa is one of the main leaders, where approximately 28 officers, 333 enlisted men and women, and 3 Marines make up the crew. We want to thank Chief Petty Officer Espinosa for being one of the honorable military personnel who sacrifices so much for our freedom. Thank you. You make our district proud.
Thank you. Next, we'll have comments from members of the Board of Education, and we'll start off with Ms. O'Kelly.
Oh, okay. Well, good evening, and I want to thank everybody for coming tonight or for watching at home if you're watching from home. I had an interesting, received an interesting letter from a student in the district, and I was really touched by it because it addresses the arts, and he feels that the art programs in the school district need more support, either in terms of finances or recognition. So I'd like to read part of his letter to you. He said, I have my own art program that plays a huge part in my life. For my 4 years of high school, I have been in a guitar class. The class has been a way for me to do something in school that I am truly passionate about, and I hate that it does not get the recognition that I believe it should. The end of the year final for this class is a concert which provides next year's students with funding for equipment such as cords, amps, etc. What is earned from the concert dwindles away quickly and personally makes me upset for those who are going to take the class next year. To review, art programs within the school district do not receive the proper attention they so well deserve. I am and have been part of one of these classes that has not received the recognition it deserves. These programs deserve to get funds and the respect they so well deserve because people are so passionate about them, and they should not be left out. And I wanted to thank, his name is Brandon, for writing to me, and I want him to know that I hear him and I agree with him. I am very proud that our district has been able to support and maintain our arts programs to the extent that they have. We had lost our elementary music program for a while. We brought it back, and that's a big start because we want to get our kids started in music in elementary school. But I've always felt we need to try to do more. My own son is a professional musician, and so I have a deep and personal understanding of the passion that Brandon is talking about. These are students that this is what drives them. You know, and they come to school and they go to their math and English and social studies classes, but they are driven by either music or art or drama or, you know, one of the arts. So I would like to, I want to promise Brandon that we will discuss this situation and see what is possible for us to do to try to provide more of the needed support to our arts programs. And I want to thank him again for writing to me. And thank you all, and have a great night.
Next, we'll have comments from Board Member Ayala. Oh. Juwan, are you ready? Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that, honey.
Good evening, every board and audience. I want to first talk about the Martin Luther King breakfast. It was a very memorable experience for me. Just to me being as young as I was and being surrounded by, you could say grown folk, but being surrounded by everyone and seeing how everyone knew each other. It seemed like something I really myself want to be a part of in the future, just based on the relationships and differences that people have with one another. Like I can remember seeing my parents. They seen a lot of people that they knew there, and my grandmother, she also seen a lot of people that they knew there that I wouldn't have even guessed they have even crossed paths with. And just to see that many people in one room and all of them have some sort of connection with one another, it almost touches me, because I see myself at school, and everyone at school are I see at school everyone either knows each other, or there's always that one person that connects everyone together, and it's almost like a very close comparison between the two. Me being young and having my friends and different people that I hang around with, and seeing the board, having friends from San Bernardino, and just talking with one another and having conversations with each other that I wouldn't have even thought would have happened, just based off of growing and meeting people. So that was one thing that stood out to me at the breakfast. That and the keynote speaker, Mr. Walker, my fault, was you could say real. I like to say to my friends, I keep it real. Like I'll be 100 with you, and that's exactly what he was. Like, he touched on topics that I myself would only talk to myself about, but I knew like specific things you wouldn't say around other people that I would just say to myself, but he had pointed them out, and they seemed real important for him to announce that. For instance, our president, he's our president. There's nothing we could do about that. And I say that to myself all the time. Listening to my grandmother, she'd always have a negative vibe just around it. I'd just be like, I mean, there's nothing we can really do about it now. So, I mean, I would always say that to myself, but I would never be able to say it out loud. And having him say that out loud almost empowers me to do the same thing. So I really do appreciate the keynote. On that, I want to congratulate Dr. Avila on his recognition again. Another thing, the DSAC is holding a historical retrospect award ceremony for any teachers in San Bernardino district, in the Rialto district that are doing anything positive towards the schools or whatever. So the DSAC students selected a few teachers or staff that they felt were effective or positively effective, I guess. And we'll have President Dina Walker as a special guest speaker. I have flyers for all of our board members to attend. It'd be something to come see. I myself get to MC with another DSAC member, Carolina. So I'm almost excited to be able to host something. But
that's great.
Other than that, I think I'm done. The February 1st is the DSAC at the DSAC meeting at Cesar Chavez Learning Teaching Center. And I'm done. I'm done.
Thank you, Board Member Collier. Next, we'll have our comments from Board Member Ayala.
Thank you, President Walker. Voy a comenzar en español. No hablo mucho en español, pero buenas noches. No hay problemas que oímos esta noche que no hay soluciones. Nothing was said tonight from parents tonight that there are not solutions. I know this board. This board This superintendent will do everything in their power to rectify these situations. There are solutions. A pill to swallow sometimes, but I applaud the parents. Proud of them. They're not fighting for themselves. We all know who they're fighting for. My great-grandfather came to this territory right here at the base of the mountains with my grandmother who raised me, early 1900s from Mexico. And she had her little brother. She was 9 years old. She told me the story, and her little brother was 3, and then just their father. He said, I like these mountains. They must have been snow-capped like they are now. He says, this is going to be my home. Well, this book here is awesome. Be impeccable with your word. Whatever you say it from your heart. And if it's the truth, you're impeccable. Gracias por las palabras. With that said, I always try to share something that'll help our kids or our community. So, a couple articles here. I'm not going to read them to you. But people think that the drought is over in our community here because it's snowing and raining. But it's not over for Southern California. The North, they don't look at it as a drought anymore. But the reality in the notes, we are losing about 975,000 gallons of water per second as we speak right now. 975,000 gallons per second are going through the Sacramento River into the ocean. If people feel our pain down here, they will divert that water, capture it. We wouldn't have these conversations. Desalination plant is being built, proposed for Huntington Beach. There are advocates, scientists saying it's going to kill 0.02% of the plankton. Maybe you think that might be a problem, but I think water is a bigger problem. We all have dreams, and my dream is that our children will love these mountains when they look at these mountains when they get older, that they decide to make this their home, that they decide that they don't want to leave. They may go away for college, but I want them to come back. I want them to love this beautiful valley. But we need to continue to have conversations with our elected officials, people in coffee shops, because there are ways to reduce expenses for our children in the future so they don't have to demand $50 an hour and be happy. I will continue these conversations, just as parents will talk. We're a team here. We all share something different at the table. And I want to thank you again for the opportunity to share my dream with you. And I want to thank again all the parents from ACU and FLI. I'm proud of you. The articulation made us all proud. And I'll just end with Saber es poder. Thank you.
Next, we'll have comments from Board Member Montez.
Thank you, Board President, Ms. Dina Walker. Miss Dina Walker. Well, good evening, everybody. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. I know that it's been a long stretch here tonight, and at least it feels like it. I just would like to start by first addressing some of the just commenting on some of the concerns that were brought forth today. I want to thank the parents that came and shared their concerns with us. Please know that you are always welcome to come and share your concerns. Criticisms, just like praises, should not be should not be denied. So thank you for coming here today and having the courage to speak about some very difficult situations and some very serious concerns that you unfortunately are having. I can only say that as a board member and as a parent, also in the district, I am deeply concerned and just hope that with the leadership of this board and the leadership of our superintendent that we can find a resolution for those concerns. So thank you for coming here tonight to share. I do want to also say to the gentleman who pointed out the rules of decorum for board meetings in our agenda. I do want to thank Dr. Avila for taking down the rules of decorum. The same exact verbiage here was put right behind that podium some years back, at a time where the district was receiving a lot of criticism, including from yours truly. And it was sort of a slap in the face for grown adults to be treated in that manner like children, where it has to be posted on the wall how you should behave in public. So I want to thank Dr. Avila for taking that one down, and I look forward to the day where this will also be removed from the agenda, because he inherited this. This was not his idea. And it even goes as far as even having a behavior guide for board members in the back, which was also placed there a long time ago. So maybe hopefully we can also remove that once we're at it. But again, I want to thank the parent who came also earlier to update us on her special needs, concerns with regarding her student. It's not against the law for parents to share their concerns or anything that they would like to share regarding their own children or their own students. So we're very limited to what we can share. As a matter of fact, most employees are limited to what they can share as far as confidential information regarding students and minors. But it's always nice to hear, not only when parents come and bring concerns regarding their children, but also when parents come and update us on some of the things that they do bring forth. So I wanted to thank her for that. And then I did just want to congratulate again, also actually Dr. Avila for his Martin Luther King breakfast recognition. I believe that might be the first one that I know of, at least in the last 6 years here. So what a prestigious recognition. So keep up the good work, Dr. Avila. I want to thank Dr. Madrid for giving a good presentation on the Haku program and conferences. I want to thank Ms. Miner. I want to thank her for her presentation on the Family Leadership Institute and what looks like a very successful program, not only for our parents, but also for our staff members. So thank you. And I'm cutting it short tonight. That's all I have. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Board Member Montez. Next, we'll have comments from Board Member Martinez.
Thank you, Madam Chair, President Walker.
Well,
I want to thank parents and the community for their honesty in communication. Just laying it out, I love it, because we've worked hard to get to the level where we can share like that. I just wanted to share that from my heart. Regarding the Boundary Advisory Committee, it's kind of been placed on hold, but I wanted to let you know where we're at. We ran into a lot of bad information when we were looking at the boundaries and considering changes at that time. So Dr. Avila inquired about running an address check for students. In finding that, we found that the information on a site and in the computer student information system was different. So which one was right? So we did find out which one was right, and the district has the right information, but we found out that somewhere on campus it was not being entered appropriately, which brings me to one of my all-time concerns. Parents and guardians, please update your site emergency cards. They should be updated every, well, I'd say 2 times a year is what I'd like to see. I know life is busy and it's easy to forget, but these site emergency cards notify, tell us, the school site, who to notify in case of an emergency or whom can come pick up your student in an emergency. Some of the arguments that we hear back is, well, you didn't contact me. We rely on the emergency card, so please update that information at least once a year, if not twice. In the boundary committee, back to that, we found that we had inter-district transfers of 338, intra-district transfers of 1,373, capacity transfers of 93, administrative placements of 226, other, meaning there was no box checked, but there were 52 of those. There were 416 blanks, and I'm assuming that is not filled out at all. Then total elementary students, and this is only the elementary students that we were looking at for this round, 4,498 of them. We also found out at the last minute the Renaissance Housing Project is leaving land for a school for kindergarten through 8th grade. And we were notified of another housing project east of Sycamore with 9.68 acres within the Rialto Unified School District. I wanted to commend the committee and specifically Mr. Mohammed Islam in bringing us all together and knowing when to say when with regards to the consultants. The last meeting was without the consultants, but we couldn't have done it without them. I had never done a boundary study. I don't believe anybody on the committee had done a boundary study, so we needed them. But we found out that we were asking the wrong questions, starting with inappropriate data. So let's see, the last meeting, the following was agreed to. Do not implement the boundary adjustment at this time, and that's for any elementary, middle, or high schools. Defer the plan for at least 1 year. Clean up the data for better, realistic picture of student population. Advise principles of accurate enrollment and capacity. Look for possibly restoring central registration center for enrollment and transfer process. Continue our discussions. Retain the Boundary Advisory Committee meeting on, well, it's passed, but January 12th, without consultants. Postpone engagement with consultants until further notice. So the short of it is we're waiting for about a year. In the meantime, we are going to recompose the data, including middle school and high school, so we can figure out what the next, this was for 4 years to 2020, so more than likely what the next 4 or 5 years to 2021 or 22 would look like according to the data. There was information that I was inspired to learn. These are school site special programs. Think Together is on every campus except Fitzgerald. We have preschools at every campus except Hugh Banks and Fitzgerald. We have GATE on every and I'm talking elementary campuses. We have GATE on every campus. That's not a bad start. So thank you, Dr. Avila, Muhammad Islam, Cabinet, and definitely all the staff members, my staff family, and the community. We're heading in the right direction, and we're doing it all together for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. I want a copy of that. Just copy. So my comments, very short. Again, we had a great time at the Martin Luther King breakfast. I'm honored to say that it was Dr. Daniel Walker, and we always have to say doctor because it took him a long time to get the PhD. He has a PhD in Latin American history as well as African American history, and so his stories and his speeches coincide with both of those histories because they are all our histories. And so I think that was why it was so impactful for people, because he can understand that our communities are one communities and the struggles are all of our struggles. And so that was part of the message. And of course, he's my little brother, so I was really proud because everybody's like, oh, who is he? Do you know him? I'm like, sure I do. So just really happy. And then the other thing, the piece about being happy too, is that as I talk about being in this district and this district being a model for other districts, the MC did say that, rowdy Rialto, but we were only rowdy because we were enthusiastic about our people in our district. So we were the only district, when they said our district, that we all just at one time just said, yay, and everybody turned around like, oh my God. We were so excited about who we were. And so people, they envied us after, and they're like, oh, you guys you're really happy? Yeah, great place to be in Rialto. So just very proud again to be a part of our district and everybody who supported that day and supported our fearless leader. And literally, we have to say fearless sometimes because I know he's like, that's all I can do. But the recognition that you got from that and the work that you've done, not only in our school but in our community, is one of the reasons why you received the award. So thank you again for the time that you've committed to our city and our schools and our community. And with that said, we'll move on. Thank you. Next, we'll go to consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by Board of Education members or the superintendent for an individual action. Are there any pulls at this time? None? Excellent. Don't move, Jawan, because I'm remembering to call on you. Okay. So, do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar for items reference E through J?
So moved.
Second.
Excellent. No discussion. Then can I have a preferential vote, calling for the vote by student board member?
Aye.
Yay. All other board members?
Aye.
Any noes? No? All in favor? Yes. Unanimous. Thank you. Our next items then will be discussion items. K. First item is to ratify an amendment, ratify an agreement with Three Chords Incorporated DBA Therapy Travelers to provide a speech pathologist to provide speech and language assessments and services to current identified speech and language students for a total cost not to exceed $57,600, effective January 11th, 2017 through June 30th, 2017, to be paid from special ed funds. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Okay. No abstentions? Passes. Thank you. Number 2, to approve a memorandum of understanding with the City of Fontana to provide crossing guard services from January 1, 2017 through June 30th, 2018, with the City of Fontana paying up to 50% of the total annual estimated costs. The terms of the MOU may be extended for an additional 1 year, up to 4 additional years upon mutual agreement. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the MOU with the City of Fontana.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Any noes? No. Unanimous. Number 3, to approve the early notification one-time incentive to those permanent certificated full-time employees who desire to resign or retire at the end of the 2016-2017 school year, who have 15 years or more of experience within the district, by notifying personnel services of their intent with an irrevocable letter of retirement or resignation by 4 p.m. on February 28th, 2017, with a payment of $500 per employee to be issued on the employee's last pay warrant issued on July 1st, 2017, with a total estimated cost of $79,000 to be paid from the general fund. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Number 4, to accept the fiscal year 2015-16 annual audited financial report completed by Vicente Lloyd and Sussman LLP. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion at all?
Vicente.
Vicente, thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, aye. Any noes? Passes. Number 5, approve the recommendations of the Administrative Hearing Panel, AHP. Administrative hearing case number 16-17-19, stipulated case numbers 16-17-26, 16-17-25, 16-17-20, and a reinstatement hearing case number 1516-38. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, no more discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
No noes? Motion passes unanimously. And then, we are at adjournment time.
President
Do I?
Walker?
Yes,
Uh,
discussion.
Comment.
Oh, comment.
I know we just voted on item 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay to make a comment here, even though we voted on this?
Okay, prior to adjournment, that's fine. Go ahead.
Yes. Just, I hope we're not too far off with other districts with what we're offering our teachers. And so let's just be sensitive to what other districts do so that we're in line with them. I think a comment was made earlier, and I think that would be fair.
And just to comment, Dr. Avila did, prior to it going on the agenda, did have a conversation about that. And once they go through this first wave, and they'll figure that out and figure budgetarily how we'll be able to work it out. And I'm assuming between the budget and everything else, everything will be fine.
Excellent.
Thank you. Great. Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, no noes. You pass it unanimously. We are adjourned at 9:39 p.m. Thank you.